It's time to delve into observational documentaries. Let's talk film. My name's Lauren, and I'm a film major who wants to share what I'm passionate about with you. As the name indicates, this is a weekly series, so be sure to subscribe so you don't miss the next Film Friday. Today, I'll be talking about cinema verite and direct cinema. I know for me personally, sometimes distinguishing between these two can be a little tricky, so I hope that with this video, I'll make it less tricky for you guys. One of the reasons these two words confuse me at least is because some people use them interchangeably, but you will see by the end of this video that they do have distinct meanings. In the 1920s, the Soviet filmmaker Verite really started experimenting with the camera, what the camera can do, making it kind of a self-reflexive medium. He went about with no actors, no sets, no scripts, and a small, generally handheld or light equipment camera. Verite was devoted to the truth, and that is what was the precursor to the cinema verite movement and the cinema verite style of filmmaking. Cinema verite seeks to capture life as it unfolds in front of the camera authentically. It involves short takes, handheld shots, light equipment, and generally a small crew. Cinema verite also uses sound as a way to provide continuity between shots. This style of filmmaking can be very journalistic, as seen in the film Memorandum. There is one sequence in the film that is about Bergen-Belsen. And as they go through that camp on a tour of sorts, it is filmed very cinema verite-like. There is no narration, it is just what is on camera and what you can hear. Cinema verite is based in realism. And then even in the editing room, when you're editing, the editors have the idea that this is truthful within the context of itself. So even if you're making cuts to shrink down the clip, whatever is said in that time, whatever you see in that time, that was all happening there in the moment as it was supposed to be. It was not set up, it was not staged. So it does add a level of truthfulness to the atmosphere. I mentioned this already, but just to reiterate, there is no narration in cinema verite. It is completely absent. It shows life as it is, and there is no staged plot. Then there is direct cinema. Now, direct cinema originated in French Canada and France. One of the main leaders in this was Jean Rouch. Jean Rouch was really inspired by cinema verite and verite, which is one of the reasons why they're so similar in movements, but they do divulge, and I'll get to that very soon. Direct cinema also uses light equipment, handheld cameras, and live sync sound, which makes it great for a small indie film because you don't need a lot of crew and you can really pick up and go quite easily. Direct cinema, similar to cinema verite, aims for an objective truth. The difference really comes when it comes to ethics. So cinema verite really seeks to provoke and reveal by its footage and clips, whereas direct cinema does try to be a bit more observational. Because of that, direct cinema really relies on an agreement between the filmmaker, the subjects, and the audience that the presence of the camera is not altering what is in front of the camera. It's the impression that a conversation that's happening, regardless of how serious or lighthearted it is, would be the exact same whether or not the camera was there. Which is of course that kind of thing where you have to trust the filmmaker, you have to trust that this is true, and that comes in the form of that agreement. And then of course the question is like, does it or not? And the thing is, we'll never know. A conversation that goes on without a camera, you'll never be able to bring a camera back to that moment. And if you have a conversation with the camera, you'll never be able to know what it was supposed to be without it. So that's why you just have to trust the filmmaker when it comes to direct cinema, differently from cinema verite, where you know the camera is there and everyone is aware of the camera, but they're still letting life unfold before them. And that wraps up this video. If you learned something, be sure to give it a nice thumbs up. Leave any comments down below, like feedback or questions for me, and remember to subscribe so you don't miss any of my general videos or the next Film Friday. See you next time. Bye.